Okay, so one thing that I've always wondered as an aviation nerd is why do they why do they take the taxi, or why do they take the jet bridge out to the aircraft? And meanwhile, they drive a separate vehicle that's powered by gas, obviously, out to the actual aircraft ramp. And so the question I've got in my mind there is if the jet bridge is in and of itself underpowered, why can't they just take that jet bridge and attach a baggage ramp that aligns up with the aircraft cargo door? And the fact is that don't get me wrong, different aircraft configurations or different aircrafts have different aircraft configurations, so that cargo door might be slightly awry from an ERJ 145 to an ERJ 175, and significantly different from that of a 737. But the principle of it remains the same, because if a ground crew member could get in there and just move that smidge, well, that cuts down on overall emissions. And number two, that allows the jet bridge itself to connect directly to the aircraft to allow for safe transportation of the baggage back into the airport terminal more efficiently. And meanwhile, that can also cut down on workers' safety incidents as it relates to chronic lower back pain, as it relates to back spasms, the lifting of oversized cargo, and can overall help improve the health and well-being of the actual ground crews. Simultaneously, it can also help to eliminate and reduce damages to bags and cargo. Because let's face it, people do dumb shit like pack their fucking laptops in their checked bags. Yes, if you've ever done that, you learned your lesson, I'm sure. Don't do it. Um, so what we're looking at here is the basic ramp layout here. Okay, this is obviously center line. You've got your various stop positions for the various aircraft types. And we are going to zoom in to Foxtrot 30 here on our airport here. We're going to work with Foxtrot 30 to start. Foxtrot 30 is going to be equipped to handle 737s as well as all the way down to 320s and even Embraers. Obviously, you see here we've got the original crew layout from when I was just first starting to fuck around with this. Um, we are going to be modifying this significantly during this process. And this guide here, I found to be very useful. It's modestly technical. So the area adjacent to the equipment restraint area with ground markings for ground support equipment is the equipment staging area. It's also known as the equipment parking area or equipment holding area. It's the area where the ground support equipment are supposed to park before and after their job. Okay, so this is beyond these white lines here, these white green lines here. And the reason these are so broad is because these are the actual blast zones, essentially, from the aircraft. As you can see, the stop position, this is where that front wheel, the front set of wheels, is going to stop on the ground. Okay, I'm not sure if you've never seen the front of a cockpit. The reason the pilot knows to stop is you see the guys with the little glowing orange wands. Well, that those are the ground crews, and they're guiding that pilot the entire time. There are two on either wing, one on either wing, and then there's one directly in front of the pilot. Uh, And that way the pilot can see from all views what exactly he needs to do with the aircraft to make sure that it's safe for everybody involved and that the aircraft gets out safely. Now, meanwhile, they do also have Jetbridge safety zones as well, because those jet bridges do move. We see that here in this image right here, because this jet bridge can shimmy and rotate as it needs to, depending on the length of the aircraft. And meanwhile, what I'm talking about adjusting here is actually an extension ramp here, right in through here, that would extend to the cargo bay door of the aircraft simultaneously. And as you can see from this image, as long as that center line's stopping, as long as each of these planes is stopping right there on that stop line, it's hitting perfectly. Now what you're seeing here, guys, is how that jet bridge moves. It doesn't just move, it rotates. It rotates on a singular axis, that access point being right here. And as it rotates, this section here does not move. You see this left side right here is actually where you'll wind up actually boarding from. What rotates here is the head and that extension. Looks like we need a little bit more data here. Uh, this one in? No. Let's see what this has to say about this. Oh, okay. This surrounding the paint that has to be used at the airport. We're not doing any of